Okay, people, welcome back to another episode. Actually, this is not another episode, this is more of a rant because it's a different kind of video. I wanted to just give my thoughts on on Frank Lampard being sacked as Chelsea manager. So, if even if you have been living under a rock for the past week or so, you probably heard the news about Frank Lampard being sacked as Chelsea manager and head coach. So it was a very tough moment for me, and obviously, I mean, not going to make this all about me, but I'm a Frank Lampard idolizer from since like I was a kid. He's the reason why I started supporting this club. And when he came to the club, I was so happy. He was over the moon because he was there, and it was like a dream come true for me, and I think a lot of Chelsea fans. So when the news of him being sacked came out um, on, I think it was six days back, just about a week ago, I was actually sitting right here on my laptop, and I was in a class, and I got a notification on my phone. Mr. George Benson has uploaded a video saying titled Lampard sacked, and in that very moment my heart sank. It was the same feeling you get when you break up with someone, the very same feeling. And my feet became cold, my hands grew cold. It was such a weird feeling to go through. And I was upset. My first reaction was such like an emotional, from an emotional standpoint, and rightfully so, because you know the expectations of Frank Lampard coming into Chelsea as the head coach were not were not mediocre or not low level. They were very high expectations, and he overachieved in this first season. He took us to the fourth spot in he took us to the top four. We got Champions League football. We reached relatively far up in the Champions League draws. I think we reached quarters, and we lost to Bayern Munich. I mean, and rightfully so, because at that point of time we realized the levels between our clubs. And moving on from there, coming and talking about this season. This season has been a tough season. I mean, uh, the pressure that comes along the with the money spent in the transfer window um, is immense, and I don't think Frank has ever experienced that uh, in his playing career, in his managerial career, of course not. So it was a completely new environment for him, and it was a different kind of test for him, new challenge. And initially, I think it went quite well. I think it was working out well. He was sticking to the identity of the squad: high pressing, um, gaining the ball back quickly, possession, quick counters, quick transitions. And for 17 games we were unbeaten after losing to Liverpool in the first match week. We went on a 17 game unbeaten run. I think about 10, 11 clean sheets that in that period of time. So it was great progress from the team to build chemistry, to build that bond between each other, to understand each other. But I think it all went wrong at the Everton game. You know, there were a lot of players who were at the fringes, who were complaining about lack of game time. Kepa, Marcus Alonso, um, possibly Emerson, he was getting a few games here and there, but not too much. Rudiger, Christensen, a lot of French players were complaining a lot. And as a manager, you have to be able to manage that side of the game as well, and not only the players on the pitch. And so I think that was Frank's downfall. And in a way, he started losing the dressing room, started losing the players, started losing the confidence, and it started showing the results. We weren't playing attractive football anymore. We weren't playing proper football that was getting us anywhere. It wasn't getting us points. It wasn't getting us goals. It wasn't getting us confidence. It wasn't building the chemistry. And eventually it led to him being sacked. And as a fan, as a Chelsea fan who's idolized uh, this man since the day he joined the club, and since then he's done so much for the club, and he's given so much to the club. So I in my heart of hearts I expected him to wait this out and stick around for a bit more time, and at least till the end of the season. But that was not to be. And initially my reaction was obviously uh, just anger at the board, because this has been going on for so long. This is no surprise to anybody who knows football and has watched football in the Premier League. This is no surprise. This is the Chelsea way, and it's sad. It's very sad that the board um, has lost its sentimentality and the sense of romance that is associated with this club. Chelsea, the shed and stand has been built on the gravestone of Peter Osberg. We've idolized and waited and romanced about this moment of the best player of Chelsea coming in and managing this club and taking them to the highest of highs. And I think the timing was probably off, and at that time I literally told myself I'm not even going to watch any more Chelsea games for the rest of the season. And I didn't watch I didn't watch the Chelsea versus Wolves game. I didn't watch that game, uh, but I did watch Thomas Tuchel's press conference after that, before the pre-press conference for the Burnley game. And I was actually surprised. I was impressed by Thomas Tuchel's uh, quick-wittedness, his charisma, his ability to stand his ground against arguably one of the most challenging and the most direct journalists in the world. Um, and and he held his own. He answered very well, and like I remember one quote that stood out to me was, "I want to build a team that nobody wants to play against." And I think that was the same feeling Chelsea fans were going through at the start of the season. We wanted to be a team that everybody feared, and at some level, a lot of other rival fans knew once Chelsea got going, it was the end for every other team in the league. So, anyway, fast forward to last night's game against Burnley. I ended up watching the game because I was quite excited by Thomas's press conference. I wanted to see what kind of change he's going to implement, and he had a few days to implement his philosophy and to at least give the players some glimpse of what his philosophy is going to be and how they would kind of adapt to that. And I think they put on a good show against Burnley. I was very, very, very impressed with the performance. I think Mason Mount was a standout player, and he's my favorite player in the squad. I've been saying it for weeks and months now. My favorite player in this Chelsea squad, Mason Mount. He captained the squad in Frank Lampard's last game for the club, and I think he's going to be a huge, huge, huge player for Chelsea. But besides Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, man of the match for me. Impressed everybody with his work rate, his dribbling, his crossing, his defensive abilities. Who would have thought? But now with this new formation, this new tactics in place, it's only gonna go up from here. So I'm though I'm upset about Frank Lampard gone, I am very, very excited to see what Tuchel is gonna do, and his era has begun with a goal by Aspilicueta and another goal, a freaking stunner from Marcus Alonso, who was also at the fringe of things under Frank Lampard. But it's exciting times, I think, for Chelsea fans, because now it's a new page and a new start for the new boys who haven't really made a strong impact at the start of the season. So let's see how things go. If you guys like this kind of content, want to see more up and personal kind of talks with you guys, let me know down in the comments below. Drop a like if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Shut up! Shut up! Shh. Let him do it! This is his destiny! Yeah!